Good morning, and welcome to a show we like to call the Dallas Download, the show where we keep you in the know on what's trending, what's happening, and what's actually worth your time. You know, so you don't have to scroll for 3 hours to figure it out. I'm Kayla, and this week we've got this.
So a lot of open air events taking advantage of the fact that Denver at the end of the day does enjoy 300 plus days of sunshine, and certainly this is going to be a summer season with plenty of those open sky, sunshine drenched.
He knew he needed to be improving his website, but he didn't know how to do it.
All that and more right here on the Dallas Download.
Do you ever wonder what happens when love, family, and small town drama all collide? That's the heart of My Life with the Walter Boys. After a whirlwind first season, the story is back with even more twists, tension, and second chances. Joining us are Nikki Rodriguez, Noah LaLond, and Ashby Gentry, better known as Jackie, Cole, and Alex, to talk about season 2 and now streaming on Netflix. Welcome to the show, you three. How are you?
Thank you.
Doing
So
well.
good.
Thank you.
All right. Nikki, your character Jackie went through a lot this season. How does she approach coming back to Silver Falls after spending the summer in New York?
Yeah, I think, when she comes back to Silver Falls this time, I think she's ready to kind of face things head on a little bit. And I think she just wants to be like the perfect version of herself to kind of just make up for her past in a way. So I think that's her overall goal this season.
And Noah, Cole is stepping into a new role at school this season. What's it like to explore that side of him, and how does it affect his relationships?
Yeah, I think it was fascinating to step into that new side of him, because I think it's a version of himself that's taking ownership over his life after throughout season 1 there was a lot of directing blame on other people and kind of self-sabotaging. So I think, taking ownership of your path and allowing, that growth to happen and start to prepare to be who you want to be for other people in your life, your family, the people who you want to show up for. So that was it was a cool turn to take.
Ashby, and your character, Alex, seemed to have changed a lot since we last saw him. How did you prepare to show that growth, especially with his focus on rodeo training?
Well, I listened to a lot of cowboy podcasts and watched a lot of YouTube videos and walked through the park a lot. And the rest of it, you'll have to see on screen. Yeah.
The show is based on a beloved book, and it's taken a life of its own. What's been like interacting with fans and hearing from them and seeing how connected they are to your characters and the story?
I mean, it's been an absolute dream come true. I think you always hope that you're bringing the character, like you're doing justice in a way. And so it's just been really lovely, the response.
And is there anything that you are expecting or would hope that your audience will take from season 2?
Yeah, of course. I think I hope that they would take it. I hope that they would to take away some of the lessons that are to be yourself, to love hard and love your family, and just know that if tomorrow doesn't work out, the next day is always there.
All right, I want to thank you three for joining me this morning. Season 2 of My Life with the Walter Boys is streaming now on Netflix. Make sure you watch and catch all of the drama that's been unfolding in Silver Falls. Thank you three for joining me.
Thank you. Have a good one.
A lot of people pick their workplace benefits during open enrollment and then immediately hope they make the right choice. But new research from the Hartford says many workers are still confused about their benefits, and even more people are turning to AI to help figure things out. Joining us now is Laura Marzi, Chief Marketing Officer of Employee Benefits at the Hartford, to break it all down for us. Hi, Laura.
Hello. Glad to be here.
So, my friend, what did the Hartford's Future of Benefits study reveal about how people feel about their workplace benefits right now?
Sure. So the Hartford insures 1 in 8 working Americans, and we built the Future of Benefits study to make sure we stay grounded in what's really going on in a worker's experiences and how they're thinking about benefits. And you hit it exactly right. 2 big stats. Half of U.S. workers fear they can't afford everyday expenses. And this means gas and groceries and childcare. And along with that worry, 43% said they don't know how to choose benefits to help offset some of those costs. So it's creating a lot of confusion out there.
And we keep hearing about people using AI for everything lately. How are workers actually using it when it comes to benefits decisions?
Yes, so there's some really interesting trends there. First off, 75% of workers keep the same benefits year after year. So my hot take for you is to do some work and do some research ahead of enrollment season so you can learn more. Here's where AI comes in from the survey, really encouraging trends in that younger groups, including Gen Z, those are the folks that are roughly under age 26, are turning to AI and they're trusting the results. 94% of Gen Z who used AI for benefits decisions trusted the recommendation. And the headline is that for all age groups, sentiment around AI is still evolving, and we know it's going to continue to play a big role, but we're really excited people are so engaged and coming informed around their benefits right before enrollment season.
And with everyday costs going up, how can benefits help people stretch their dollars a little bit further?
Sure. So first off, don't assume your medical plan is going to cover everything, because it doesn't. And that's where supplemental health benefits come in. I'm not going to assume everybody is an expert on all these types of insurance coverages, but this is what you need to know. Supplemental health provides cash benefits, so you can stay focused on the medical event and not on financial strain. And that means that it works along your medical benefits like a safety net, and it's cash you can use for things like caring for an aging parent, a planned surgery, fertility treatments, or even an unexpected injury. So when you use supplemental health coverage and combine it with your medical coverage, you've got a much better financial safety net.
And a lot of people only think about benefits during open enrollment, but why is it actually an important time to review things again right now?
Yeah, so most folks only spend about 7 to 8 minutes picking benefits, and we'd like to get in front of that. You just got through tax season. This is a great opportunity to think about your finances, the people that you support and love, and be proactive about benefits decisions now. So do the work. We all know life does not follow an enrollment schedule, but this is a great time to explore the benefits options that are available to you at your job, and you may actually have more financial support than you realize.
And where can viewers go for more information?
Tons of support out there from the Hartford. All you have to do is go to thehartford.com.
Laura, Marzi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. If your summer group chat is already full of "where should we go" texts, Denver may want a spot on the list. Between concerts at Red Rock, outdoor adventures, festivals, and sports, the city is becoming one of the big travel hotspots of the summer. Joining us live from Red Rocks is travel trends analyst Gabe Saglie to talk about why so many people are headed to the Mile High City right now. Hi, Gabe. How are you?
Cheers from the Mile High City.
So what's making Denver such a popular summer destination this year?
All right, I think a lot of it is about what we're calling gig tripping here in the travel industry these days. You're finding a major event you love, and you're building a vacation around it. The festivals calendar already in full swing out here in Denver. Later this month, the Outside Days Festival is back for its third year, celebrating all things outdoors, all things adventure travel. That's 3 days of tons of family-friendly activities. Of course, next month is Pride Month all month out here in Denver, but the big ticket item is Pride Fest happening at the end of June, June 28th at a brand new location downtown, right along 16th Street. And the Cherry Creek Arts Festival is back for its 35th year. A lot of art lovers watching know this is a destination in early July to come check out some of the great artists that call Denver home in the Cherry Creek North neighborhood of Denver. If you're a sports fan, some of the great sports venues are right smack in the middle of downtown Denver, meaning walking distance from your hotel, including, of course, Coors Field. The season for the Colorado Rockies already underway. That's going to go all the way through September. A lot of those games ending with fireworks shows at the end of the day. So it's just a spectacular way to enjoy some baseball there. It's a big summer for soccer fans out here because Denver has its very first professional women's soccer team, the Denver Summit FC. That season, the inaugural season already underway. And the Savannah Bananas coming to Denver in the middle of August for a couple of days, taking over Coors Field with some of that really fun and uproarious live banana ball action.
That is so exciting. And Red Rocks is celebrating 85 years. What's so special about seeing a show there?
So what a great venue this is. I was here before the sun even rose, and I was not alone. A lot of people out here starting their day at Red Rocks, surrounded by these beautiful Red Rock formations, and of course, doing their yoga, doing their meditation, doing their morning exercises. Great place to hang out and meet the locals. But this, of course, is a venue that has become known as one of the great performing arts venues in the world, celebrating 85 years this year. And what a lineup to celebrate that big birthday with Paul Simon, Santana, Rod Stewart, Alex Warren, Hilary Duff, Yo-Yo Ma. Just an amazing lineup of artists celebrating Red Rock Amphitheater's 85th anniversary. This is also a venue where you can come in the mornings and do guided yoga sessions. You can do their Film on the Rock series will showcase a whole bunch of classic films over the course of the summer as well. This is a 10,000 seat open air amphitheater blocked by rock formations that still to this day hold fossilized remains of dinosaur tracks that go back 300 million years. So an ecological wonder, but one of the great performing arts venues on the globe.
And my friend, what else is happening in the arts, culture, and festival scene this summer?
So a lot of open air events taking advantage of the fact that Denver, at the end of the day, does enjoy 300 plus days of sunshine. And certainly this is going to be a summer season with plenty of those open sky, sunshine drenched days. A lot of areas offering open air concerts. Aside from Red Rocks, you got the Fiddler's Green Amphitheater. The Black Crows coming there. Howard Jones, Dave Matthews Band. You've also got a lot of open air film festivals taking place across the city. Many of those screenings are free. And from a historical standpoint, while the U.S. is celebrating its 250th birthday, the state of Colorado is celebrating 150 years as the 38th state to join the Union. So a lot of historical events taking place across the city this summer.
And for families trying to plan an easy trip, what makes Denver a good fit?
I think it's a lot about that open air space, 5,000 acres of parks and pathways across the city. This is what's allowed us as a family of five to come out here regularly and enjoy the sort of the open space and those sun-drenched days across much of the year. Downtown, my kids love the Denver Zoo, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. If you're a dinosaur fan, amazing world-class exhibits there. And the Downtown Aquarium with more than 1 million gallons of marine life exhibits, again, right in the heart of downtown, walking distance from all those great hotels, restaurants, and cultural venues as well.
Where can viewers go for more information?
All right, check out visitdenver.com. A lot of trip planning ideas there, a lot of flight information to get you from Dallas out here to Denver. And of course, that calendar chock full of events with plenty of reason to make Denver a destination of choice this summer.
Gabe Saglie, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Great to see you.
Sometimes you need something fast, and waiting a few days just doesn't cut it. Amazon is launching a new ultra-fast delivery service in parts of the Dallas area, giving customers quicker access to thousands of everyday delivery products. Joining us now is Lindsay Hamilton, Senior Communications Manager for Amazon, to explain how it all works. Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad to hear that. So what are you announcing today?
We are announcing that Amazon Now, our new ultra-fast delivery service, is currently live to millions of customers around the country, dozens of cities, and by the end of the year, we'll be live to tens of millions of customers, including wide availability in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
That is so exciting. And how will this impact customers in the Dallas area?
So Amazon Now can get items to customers in around 30 minutes or less. We have a selection of thousands of items, from fresh groceries to household essentials to just some of those other need it now, don't want to wait items that customers will be able to go online, order them, and have them at their door on those really, really fast delivery speeds. We're hoping for customers in your area that this is going to be solving a lot of problems, keeping them from having to wonder how they're going to fix their dinner with that missing ingredient that night, or how they're going to get that charger right before they need to get on a flight, or what to do when they run out of diapers.
And can you tell us how this will work and what items will be available?
Yes. So the way that it works is that we have smaller, specialized locations that are closer to where customers live and work. So that's how we're getting faster. It's by moving the items that customers are ordering or have those urgent needs for closer to where the customers are. And that's how we're able to reach folks in around 30 minutes. And in terms of the items that are available, it's that selection of fresh groceries, household essentials, and other locally relevant items or need it now items. And I think people, when they go online, they'll be surprised at just how much they can shop. We've got thousands of items available. We've got, we see customers ordering things like limes, bananas, tomatoes, paper towels, toilet plungers, HDMI cables, wireless earbuds, Bluetooth speakers, pet treats, baby diapers, over-the-counter medications when you're sick. We can really solve a lot of problems with this service.
That is so exciting. I'm thinking of all the millions of ways I can utilize this. Where can viewers go to learn more?
Absolutely. They can go to amazon.com/now to see if they've got service. And if you're in the Amazon app, check and see if you've got that 30-minute delivery option in the banner at the top. If you don't have it yet, please keep checking, because like I said, we are live and widely available in your area, but we are rolling out to more and more customers. So please keep an eye on it. We are rapidly expanding this program because customers are responding really well to it.
How exciting. Well, Lindsay Hamilton, I want to thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Summer travel season is heating up, and new data from Kayak shows there are still ways to save if you know when to book and where to look. Kayla DeLoache from Kayak joins us this morning with some smart travel tips for the summer. Hi, Kayla. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad to hear that. So what are the biggest travel trends you're seeing this summer, and where are Americans headed right now?
So what we're seeing at Kayak is despite rising prices, Americans are still traveling and they want to get away this summer. Kayak is a travel search engine, so we compare your flights, hotels, and rental cars all in one place so you feel really good and confident about the price you're getting. And today we launched our summer travel report, which dives into, just as you said it, where Americans are headed and how they can save. And what we're seeing is Americans are choosing to stay a little bit closer to home. Domestic searches are up about 9% for summer travel compared to this time last year. And some of the places they're headed are New York, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Denver, to name a few, many of which are also falling among our more affordable destinations list, which is great. And then internationally, we're seeing travel search behavior mimic previous years. So Europe is really hot among American travelers, specifically London, Paris, Rome, all ranking in our top destinations for summer travel for Americans this year.
And how much can the timing of your trip really change what you end up paying for flights?
Timing can make a difference on your wallet. So what we're seeing in our summer travel report is people can save between 9 and 42% by choosing to travel around middle to end of August, even into that early September timeframe, which is great. So if you have a little bit of flexibility, choosing that timeframe, booking your travel now for flying around that time is a great way to save. Now, if you have a little bit less flexibility or you're tied to those school calendars, flying midweek or using our Flex Dates calendar on Kayak, it's a great color-coded calendar view of, seeing when it's cheaper to depart and return. So some really great options on site to save. And then if you're traveling around one of those more popular weekends, let's say July 4th, we have Memorial Day weekend coming up, flying on the holiday itself can typically yield a lower price tag for those flights. So some options to still get out there and travel this summer and save.
And what are some of the smartest tools or strategies people should be using to save money this summer?
So one of my favorites, if you don't know where you want to go, but you know you want to get away, is our Explore feature on Kayak. Head to kayak.com/explore, type in your home airport. Let's say you're flying from the Dallas area. You have a budget of $300 and you want to travel this June. Some of the places we were seeing, I typed in Dallas this morning, and some of the places we're seeing coming in under $200 were DC, Miami, some really great options for flying out of that Dallas area. And then our trip calculator. So a lot of people right now, gas prices are top of mind. Gas prices are rising at a higher price than, or a higher pace than flight prices. We have a trip calculator on Kayak where you can type in where you're traveling from and where you want to travel to, and we'll show you which one's cheaper. It will take into account current gas prices, current flight prices, and it will show you, is it cheaper to fly to that destination or cheaper to drive? So some really great options and tools on our site right now to save for travel this summer.
And I know you just gave us some great resources, but to put it all in one spot, where can travelers still find some of the best deals right now?
If you head to kayak.com, we launched our summer travel report this morning, and it's filled with all of this data, a really great starting point for American travelers looking to make that trip happen this summer.
Kayla DeLoache, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
A lot of parents are worried about how easy it is for kids to get flavored vape products right now, especially illegal ones coming into the country. There's also growing bipartisan support for stronger enforcement and more action on the issue. Joining us now is Emily Stack, Executive Director of Moms for America Action. Welcome, Emily.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So how serious is the problem with illegal Chinese vapes around right now, and what should people know about it?
Well, it is about 80% of vapes here in the U.S. It's estimated to be all from China, and they are not FDA approved, so we don't know what's in them. And more concerning is that our children are getting into them, and they're very much targeted towards children. They look like toys. Some of them have more like childlike flavors that are attractive to them. And so we're having a bit of a health issue as well.
And what has FDA Commissioner Marty Makary done so far to address the illegal vape problem in the U.S.?
So they've actually recently done I believe it's called Operation Vape Trail, which is they're trying to put more enforcement and more emphasis on enforcing this. And they've done at least several crackdowns. One, I believe, happened in Chicago a few weeks ago. Last fall, they did a major bust on several more vape shops across the country. But recently, Also, Congress has allotted, I think it was $200 million towards this nationwide crackdown and enforcement. So we are currently hoping that the FDA commissioner will open that up so they can get those fundings for the crackdown.
And there seems to be bipartisan support for cracking down on these products. Why is this issue bringing people together, and what still needs to happen?
Well, because this isn't a Republican Democrat issue. This is an American issue. This is also a national issue. I mean, this is stuff coming in from another country. It's not FDA approved. And, you know, Republicans, Democrats alike, we all have children, we all have families, and we want to make sure that it's safer and that our children are happy and healthy.
And China restricts flavored vape products for its own citizens. So why are these products still ending up here in the U.S.?
It's a money issue. They make about $213 billion off the tobacco industry. So it's not good enough for them, so they send it here and put it in the hands of our children.
And what can parents and local leaders actually do if they're concerned about this in their own communities?
So we've talked about it a little bit on the federal side, also on the state side. Families and parents and moms, we can talk to our House reps and we can say, hey, you know, we'd really also like to have a state registry, which, you know, provides the list of approved vapes from the FDA. That way they're less likely to end up in vape shops. And we can also ask for stronger enforcement. Moms for America, we're currently running a petition to provide awareness and give it to federal officials saying, hey, this is an issue that our parents are concerned about. That's on momsforamericaaction.com. And people can sign the petition so we can make sure we get the word out.
And my friend, where can we go for more information?
Make sure you go to momsforamericaaction.com and we'll make sure you get aware on the issue.
Emily Stack, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Kayla.
AI used to feel like something only big tech companies talked about, but now small businesses everywhere are using tools like ChatGPT in their everyday work. From saving time to helping with ideas and organization, it's becoming part of how people run their businesses. Joining us now is Chris Nicholson, Community Policy Lead at OpenAI. Welcome, Chris. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad to hear that. So tell me, why is Main Street seeing some of the biggest AI gains right now?
The thing to know about Main Street is that it's actually 36 million businesses across America. So that's most businesses in America. And those businesses employ about half the Americans in the private sector. So Main Street is really huge. Every single one of those small business owners has more problems than they have time to solve, right? And very often they don't even know the experts to tap to solve those problems. And they don't have the money to hire a big team like big businesses do. So what they need are tools that give them leverage to solve the problems. And ChatGPT is the tool they're turning to.
And how are small businesses using AI day to day to grow?
I'll give you an example. I was speaking with a general contractor this week. He builds and renovates homes. He knew he needed to be improving his website, but he didn't know how to do it. So he went to ChatGPT. He worked through the messaging. He improved the landing pages. He uploaded photos of his jobs. And the next thing he knew, he got 25% more inbound demand, right? Which will translate to about 6 figures in gross revenue for him this year. And a lot of that is going to the community because he hires 10 to 15 subcontractors per job, and they've all got more work now.
And what are some practical ways ChatGPT can help, from creating content to even making decisions?
Yeah, I'll give you another example. I know a couple, they wanted to found a restaurant. That was their dream. She's a chef, he's in marketing. And they thought they needed to lease a space on Main Street and get some fancy equipment. And so they went to ChatGPT with this plan and they talked through it. And they discovered that in California, you can legally operate a restaurant out of your home kitchen. So they did that and they didn't need a big bank loan. And now they're serving meals. And then once they had solved that problem, the next question was, well, how do we price this stuff? Right? How do we price food items? How do we present them on a menu? ChatGPT is walking them through each stage of the process. They get to permitting, the city's going to come inspect their kitchen, and they passed with flying colors in something they'd never done before because ChatGPT was supporting them.
That does sound incredible. So is AI becoming a must-have for small businesses that want to stay competitive?
You know, what people are telling me is this tool gave me wings. That I wouldn't have made it this far. I wouldn't have so there's so many things to do in small business, as you know. This tool helped me overcome all those things I needed to do so I could break even and thrive, right? And when those businesses unlock that growth, then they become employers. So there was a recent survey, 82% of the small businesses in America using AI, they're hiring, right? So we are fueling that growth.
And one last question for you. Where can people go for more information?
It's super easy. They can go to chatgpt.com. It's just a website. You can go there. And the way to really learn about the product is just to experience the product. So if you know how to have a conversation, everybody's talked through a problem with a friend. If you know how to talk through this problem and say what you want and share information that you might need to get good advice, then you know how to use ChatGPT. So the thing to do is just go and try it out.
Chris Nicholson, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning.
Thank you.
Everything seems like it's feeling more expensive right now. Groceries, insurance, housing, and experts say there's one factor a lot of people may not realize is contributing to those rising costs: legal system abuse. Joining us now is Lynn McChristian to break it all down. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting me come.
So why is legal system abuse adding to rising costs for everyday Americans?
Well, it is increasing the cost of doing business. If it costs more to transport your products, to manufacture products because you're concerned about liability or unreasonable litigation, that is creating more costs for businesses. Those costs of a lawsuit don't just stay in the courtroom. They trickle down to all of us. An American household might pay nearly $6,000 more a year to account for this lawsuit abuse. What's happening, if lawsuits are more frequent and more costly, then that is increasing uncertainty. And uncertainty is expensive. It's hard to plan ahead for what your expenses might be if you don't know all these dangers that exist.
And how do lawsuit costs end up affecting things people deal with all the time, like grocery prices, insurance bills, and even housing costs?
Well, if a grocery store has to pay more to transport its products because transportation companies, trucking companies are always at risk for lawsuits. If there is an increase in the production costs because of product liability, if there's an increase because of paying more coverage and more insurance for employees, all those things factor into what we pay. And it's not done in a vacuum. It's filtered down to the cost of doing business. We pay more for construction, for example, if we have home repairs, because of the liability expenses of that uncertainty and concern about needless lawsuits factored into what we pay.
And what reforms could make the biggest difference for consumers right now?
Well, legal reforms are necessary to bring in transparency and fairness to the system. There's something right now that people don't know too much about. The average consumer doesn't know. It's called third-party litigation funding. And what it is there's outside investors who are bankrolling lawsuits, and they are unduly influencing the way that lawsuit is handled because they take a percentage of what that policyholder, for example, the injured party must get. So they want a bigger payday. And if judges and juries don't know that an outside funder is involved, they will not always make the right decisions. Knowing that an outside investor is involved, they could be from a foreign country. We have a lot of that money coming in to take advantage of our legal system. That's a problem. Legal reform should address that.
My friend, where can viewers go if they want more information?
A great resource is the website of the American Property Casualty Insurers Association, and that website is apci.org.
Lynn McChristian, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of The Dallas Download. We are so excited to be here, and we can't wait to do it again with you next week. Catch us right here on KDAF, Sundays at 5:30 a.m. And if you just can't get enough of the show, I know I can't, head to DallasDownload.com and follow us on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all at The Dallas Download. Thanks for watching, and until next time, that was a show we like to call The Dallas Download.